All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekakwadash. Giving double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. And shalom to the few sisters that watch. It's coming back with another lesson. Was watching this lesson by the elder Yashawamba, and it was a beautiful lesson. It says deal with the inward man before the Lord exposes you. So we're coming in a time, man, that, really is crunch time, because, hey, man, this devil sees that, his time is getting short. Prophecy is moving. Hey, man, death is going out. I personally know of two people, on the same day, man, that got taken up out of here, man, like yesterday. And, we see the celebrity deaths. So, Yahweh Shem Shai is not playing, man. It's really time to start the grind, not losing the faith, and being sincere about this truth, man. Really just following, being a perfect example, perfect servant, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We know we got flaws because we in this flesh, but we can't let this flesh overtake us, man. Sorry for the rant, but that was just a sidebar, man, because that lesson was on point, and I myself constantly pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua that he take not his Holy Spirit away from me, man. Because, hey, man, we see examples, of the Lord casting people out, and we don't want that. But now, getting into the lesson, man, just get into this devil, man. Time is getting short for this devil, so he's about to come down. So this is the book of Revelation chapter 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. So nobody is going to be exempt from the wrath of this devil. Whether you're here in Babylon the Great, or in Dominican Republic, or, a remote island. Everybody's going to feel, the wrath of this devil. It says, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. He knows he got a short time, man. Especially because the Israelites are waking up, man. He's paying attention, whether people believe it or not. You got these low-level Christians that's scoffing against the truth. Esau is taking it serious. The wicked elites, they're taking it serious. It's these low-level jakes, that want to come up against the word, which is absolutely crazy, man. Because you just look at what this devil is doing throughout the earth. You look at what this devil has done throughout history. All the murder, rape, robbery, slaying jakes left and right. And you still have people that want to cape for this man, But ultimately, they're going to be destroyed. But the point of the matter is that this devil is coming down with great wrath, because his time is short. So we'll go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 5. And verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, is as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And that devil is none other than Esau Edom, man. The so-called white man, that's doing wickedness throughout the earth, implementing all kind of all manner of wickedness, kidnapping, doing things to kids, harvesting organs, polluting the air, polluting the water, over fishing, over hunting, till the population is dwindling, within the animals kingdom, man. This devil is wicked. Slaying buffalo, all this, man, is a clear indication of who the devil is that the Bible speaks of, whether these Negroes believe it or not. And eventually this devil's going to show his horns to the point where it won't be any denial of who he is, So this is the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 5. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And this is speaking of Esau Edom, man. The triumphing of the wicked is short, because the devil is celebrating, been celebrating for years, man. Let's see, triumphing. Ringing out, cry, shout, joy, joyful singing, triumphing, celebrating, basically. So this devil has been celebrating ever since, he became in authority, man. But it says the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, it's a question being posed, but, yeah, it's going to be for a moment, because eventually our Lord is going to come back and overthrow this devil, collapse and destroy everything that he's put forth, and establish a righteous kingdom, man. And that's what we're waiting on. So, this devil is out of here, man. It's time. Hey, our time is getting short, man. We're about to be out of here. Lord willing, I'm one of those men and the rest of the sincere brothers out there, man. But we are real close, The implementation of that RFID microchip is right around the corner. And we see World War III gearing up. The nations are gearing up. You got Thailand and Cambodia fighting, man. Thailand is a vacation spot. You see people going to Thailand vacationing these days. Now, that's over with, man. The time of being joyful and traveling, and doing things of that nature, man, is about to be over. And I myself, I take a trip here and there, man, just to get away from Babylon the Great. But eventually that's going to end. That's coming to an end. The signs are here. The signs are here, man. So, we got to get in that mode of being strictly, stoic and being, if it's not for this truth, is really in vain, But, yeah, man, our time of having joy, having a little bit of fun is about to be over with, man. We know this devil is going to come down on us with great wrath first and foremost. But the thing about it, man, we got Yahweh Shem Yahushua in our corner, man. We cannot lose with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So everything this devil throws at us, we're going to take it on the chin, man, and keep going. So this is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 12. It says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So this devil is constantly coming up with stuff, constantly coming up with ways to destroy the people, first and foremost the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It's an all-out war against the children of Israel, as it has always been. But the Lord is going to overthrow this man, and his mission will not be accomplished. So verse 13, it says, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong, So this devil's mission will not be accomplished. The Lord is going to utterly destroy everything this devil has, I ain't even going to say worked for, everything that he's stolen and gotten by deceit. It's about to be finished. about to be finished, man. So, matter of fact, let's stay in the book of Job, back to Job 20. And this is just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And, really about to jump on getting into the tribes, man. Going into the tribes, going into the breakdown of the tribes. Because we about to be at a point, man, where Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to bring a lot of people into the fold, from every nation, But we know that the people out of those nations are Israelites. No matter what they look like, no matter if they look like a Moabite, no matter if they look like a East Indian Elamite, So it's time that hey man, it's time to dig in. So like you. So this is book of Job, chapter 20, and we're gonna go to verse 22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." If you go into this word wicked, it's actually going into the laborers. Laborer, sufferer. This devil has everybody suffering throughout the world, man. Not just Jake. Everybody, the whole world is languishing under the rulership of this devil. So it says, verse 23, it says, "When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." So when this devil is about to think he's about to accomplish his mission, with the implementation of this RFID microchip, population control, bringing forth plagues, all this, man, the Lord is going to step in and crush this devil. And the elect is going to be sitting back, watching and rejoicing, man. We're going to be rejoicing, Lord willing, on one of those men when we see the fall of this devil, man. It's hey, man, every day, that's part of my daily prayer, is that Yahweh Shem Yahushua utterly take this devil down, destroy this devil's kingdom, and set up the kingdom of heaven, man. Most Christians profess that they love the Lord, but when it comes to the destruction of America, they hesitant and they step back, because they don't want to see this place go. So that clearly tells you that they don't love the Lord and they don't know the Lord, man. Do you want the kingdom of heaven or not? They're all talk, man. Everything is all talk when it comes to them. So let's see. We'll get one more. Matter of fact, we ain't even got to get it. We'll go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. I'm not going to actually pull it up, but, it says, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of the world, that Father would roughly paraphrasing. So once this devil is overthrown, then Jacob, the Israelites are going to rule. So that's where we headed, man. We right around the corner from this championship. So, we got to continue to be brotherly, man, and be truthful, be sincere about what we doing in this truth, man. Don't be one person around brothers, and then when you out of sight, you being a Negro, a nigga, basically. So, we are to, uphold this truth, in the face of brothers, in the face of Esau, in the face of the world, and also behind closed doors, man, because we right here. So, with that being said, Lord willing, is edifying, and we want to constantly give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekakwadash. Shalom.